Okay, so welcome to the Toys Are Nice graph exercise. We have to make a graph or a column chart based on these details. Toys Are Nice are looking at their figures of sales in their largest stores in Ireland. The toys have been broken down into 3 sections: dolls, puzzles and trucks. Enter the records below into a spreadsheet program. Calculate the total and create a column chart from the figures. Label each axis and the chart accordingly, not forgetting to also make sure the legend is also labeled. Do not include the total in the chart. Okay, so we have to enter the details as shown. So that's cool. Let's do that. Okay, so we've entered the details as shown. We have to format it. So these were bold and these were bold. And just calculate the total for you. So equals sum, open bracket, highlight all the dolls, trucks and puzzles, close and enter. Click on the thing you'd like to copy, drag it across. Okay, so we've calculated the total products, but we have to create a column chart and not to include the total products. So we're just going to highlight from products all the way across to Galway and down as far as puzzles. And when we insert a chart, we literally go insert, and there's a chart section of the insert ribbon. We choose column and the first one, and then that miraculously shows all of the details. So let's have a look. The thing that is wrong with this chart is there are no labels. So the only thing labeled is the legend. That is this thing here. So you have dolls are blue, trucks are red and puzzles are green. And then these words, Dublin, Cork and Galway, have to be labelled, and these numbers have to be labelled. So we label a chart by clicking on the chart itself, and then to make sure the correct ribbon appears, it is green. Can you see that here? Design, layout and format. These are all our options for our chart. So if I click off the chart, that ribbon disappears. Click on and the ribbon comes back. We label it using layout, and the axis titles are these things here. So the 0 to 3000 is the vertical axis, and the 0 all the way down to Galway is the horizontal axis. So let's label those. Vertical, you've got some options, doesn't matter what you choose, and type in products. And then the horizontal, counties. And then our chart is missing a title, so click on the chart again and choose chart title and go products sold in Ireland. Ireland. Okay, that's cool. Right, next. So we've done entering the details, calculating the total, creating a column chart to not include the total, the label, the chart. Now we have to move the chart we've created under the figures you have inputted so you can see both on the sheet. So to move a chart, you click on it and you make sure your mouse changes or maintains that crosshair, so then you can drag it and drop it where you like. Save the workbook as Toys 1 and label the sheet as Toys 1. File, Save As, Toys 1 on the desktop, save, and label the sheet. So you can right click on sheet 1 and choose rename, or you can double click on sheet 1 and rename it Toys 1. Okay. Copy the sheet Toys 1 and name the copy Toys 2. Okay. So click off the renaming to click onto the sheet. Click onto the title right click and say move or copy. That is how you correctly copy a sheet. Make sure Toys 1 is selected, tick create a copy at the bottom or you won't be able to make a copy. Say OK. So then it automatically puts a 2 in brackets to show this is the second Toys 1. The question asks us to rename it as Toys 2. So I'm going to rename it as Toys 2. Okay. Toys 2. Okay. Make a line chart to represent the highest profitable area based on total sales. Okay. So Toys 1, we have our graph. Toys 2, I'm going to get rid of him and just make a new line chart. Now, just on total sales, so on total products. So I'm going to highlight product Dublin, Galway, Cork. Press Control on the keyboard and highlight total products and the figures. And it's important that you highlight the same number of cells on the top and on the bottom. So I've taken my finger off Control off the keyboard, insert a line chart, it says, so this one. So there we go. Make sure we label this one correctly. Product sold. And then click on the chart, go to layout, go to axis title. I'm going to do the horizontal and say counties. See, counties appears there, press enter and it changes it down here. So it already has its title, so that's fine. Next question. The dolls were sold at an average of €5, trucks at 8 and puzzles at 10. Make the additions to the records on spreadsheet Toys 2. Okay, the prices here. It's logical to put it here because we want to put the prices next to the dolls or on the dolls row. 5, 8 and 10. Okay, and then total sales we have to calculate. So this is what's called a nested formula, and we will also be using absolute references in this one. So first of all, I'm just going to highlight my prices and format it to currency and to euro. Okay, so the total amount of dolls that were sold in Dublin is 2,478. So we literally, all we do is we multiply the cost of the dolls with the amount of dolls that we sold. So let's just take it one step at a time. So we'll start with an equals, as you do with all the formulas in Excel. Click on the amount of dolls in Dublin and multiply that by the price of the dolls. Okay, then we're going to add the price of the trucks in Dublin, sorry, the amount of trucks in Dublin, multiply that by the price, plus the amount of puzzles multiplied by the price of the puzzles here, and then enter. And that calculates 47,818. So watch what happens when we drag it across for Cork and Galway. It doesn't work. Let's see why it doesn't work. Double click on it and it will show you the formula it's using to calculate the total, and it will also highlight the boxes to show you where the computer is looking to make those calculations. So Cork is correct, so all the C references are correct. It's looking over at F and there's nothing in F, and the reason why it's done that was when we copied it across we didn't have an absolute reference, we didn't lock in the E references in this particular formula. So when we drag it across it naturally moves over from B to C and then from E to F, and then for Galway it goes from C to D and then from F to G. So if you have a look, it went to G. So we don't want that to happen with our, let's just have a look, hang on, escape, press D. Now the Dublin one is the one that worked and the one that we're happy with, so I'm just clicking on that one and showing you. So Dublin is correct, so all the B references are correct and all the E references are correct. Now when we use the fill handle, Mickey the Dot or SpongeBob, remember he automatically knows to look to the next, to look to the next. So he'll do that for the B references. He'll also do that for the E references. But we don't want the E references to change. We want him to always look at E. So what we're going to do is click on E anywhere, either in front, in the middle, or at the end. As long as it's touching E in some way. And then we'll press F4 to lock in that reference. Click on E3, F4, and it automatically places a $sign before the E and before the 3, locking in the row and the column reference. Same again, pressing F4. So then we press enter, because all of our price cell references have been locked in. They won't change. Now if we click on here and we drag it across, it will fill it in. Now what happened here was the hashtags appeared because our column was not wide enough. So let's just widen it, double click, and then it widens it. Okay, that's brilliant. So that's total sales calculated. Calculate total income for each store for all the toys sold. That we did that. Make a column chart to represent the highest profitable area. You should only have 3 columns representing Dublin, Galway, Cork. Color each column in 3 different colors. Okay, well first we'll make the column chart. So you literally, like I said before, only highlight the same amount of cells each time. So I'm going to highlight product Dublin, Cork, Galway. That's 4 cells. Press Control on my keyboard. I'm going to make a chart from total sales. So total sales and the money and the money. So that is 4 cells on the top, 4 cells on the bottom. Let go of Control. Click on Insert, Column, and there's our chart for total sales. Now, this is labeled correctly. It has money. It's obviously money, but for not everyone will understand what Dublin, Cork, and Galway means. So we need to label that. So Layout, Axis, the horizontal, and then call that counties in Ireland, or it could be the stores, whatever. That makes sense. Grand. So we'll move that over so that we've got the line 1 and the bar 1 right next to each other. Now, what's the next instruction? To colour them in. Okay, Dublin has to be blue, Galway purple, and Cork red, so that's fine. So I'll show you how to colour in Dublin. Dublin has to be blue. So if we click on Dublin, can you see the little Minnie Mouse or Mickey Mouse ears appear here and here? And they also appear here, and they appear on the third one. If we just want to colour Dublin, we click on Dublin again. So then it only appears on Dublin and not on Cork and not on Galway. They're both gone. So I'll click off again, show you. Click off the chart, click on Dublin, and Dublin again. See the difference? So now we can colour in Dublin. Let's go home and use our little bucket of colour. So I'll just choose a bit of a darker blue here. Colour Cork. Click on Cork. Cork has to be, is it purple? I'll have to check. No, Galway's purple. So Galway is purple and Cork is red. So there you are. So it changes it on the chart. It also changes it on the legend as well. So it is accurately portraying the information. And that is the end of the exercise. So I hope that was easy for you to follow. Toys 1 looks like this. Toys 2 looks like that. Well done. Thanks for watching.